In this episode, we're going to talk about the storytelling structure, because if we want to create a content that people will want to watch until the end, we have to follow a specific format, and that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today.
Marketing Automation Ninja.
Hello everyone. So in today's episode, I want to talk about actually the mistake I did few years ago. Because when I started to create some videos about my knowledge and all the experience I had, etc., I dive into directly the theory. That, like, in this situation we do that, in that situation we do this, etc. Or here is how to do that and this, and or here is how to do etc. And people were not watching my content, were not listening my content and my advice, and I was really disappointed because I put tons of efforts in creating this type of content, and it was almost useless just because I didn't catch people's attention, and because although what I had to share was very valuable, they were not really understanding how it can help them with their challenge. So in order to avoid this type of situation, we have to follow a specific type of structure. The first step of that structure is to catch people's attention, is to stop them with a very short message telling them, here is what's going to happen to you, or here is what happened to me, or here is what happened to Clara who start to publish, I don't know, or YouTube, etc. Just a situation where when they can relate, they can see that, okay, maybe that could be me, or I am curious, I want to know what happened to John or whatever, but a message that is going to catch their attention. Once we have that message, we need to shock them. So basically to give them a fact that they can be in this situation. Like, I don't know, Clara wasted $10K dollars because of that, or because of this, etc. So just a real fact that they can relate, and telling them, if you don't want to if you want to avoid that, or you don't want to have this, or if you want to succeed like this person, then watch until the end. That's the stop and shock process. It's a word catch that we want to give to people. Then once we've done that, we need to teach through story. It's very, very important to use stories, and that's how we usually teach things for centuries. Even in religions, etc. They all talk about stories of whatever God or Jesus or whatever people you believe in, and they explain a story, and at the end of the story there is a moral. So what is important is to picture someone, or picture you, maybe your own experience, what you went through, and what were the difficulties, and how in the end you figured out what was your mistake and what you've learned from that mistakes. And then that will help people to make their own theory, to create their own theory, to understand exactly what would be the moral of the story. And then you rephrase that moral at the end of the video, of the episode. You say, okay, so the moral of that story, if you understand what happened to me, and because I didn't know that, is that here is what happened. So, and if you want to avoid that, here is the process you need to follow. And then you put the moral, you put a call to action. So first step, you do this. You create a stop or a catch to catch people's attention. Then you shock them in order to catch their attention until the end of the video, by giving them a real fact, by showing them a real situation. Then you go through a real story so that they can picture themselves in that world, in that context, feeling like if it could be them. Then we move forward with a story, and then we give a moral, we teach them what we have to teach. Here is the process to follow. And if you want to have that success and avoid this type of painful situation, then you need to follow that action, That's definitely the type of storytelling structure I recommend you for any type of content you will create, either video, audio, or scripted content, or email. It works the same. I really recommend you this type of format. And that's not from me. I mean, I've been following tons of YouTubers, web marketers, etc. for decades. Not maybe decades, but for many, many years. And that's always the same story. So I hope it helps. Wishing you a great day and apply that framework. Bye for now.
Marketing Automation Ninja.